What do you guys want to talk about? What do you want to talk about? What do you guys want to talk about? What do you want to talk about? What do we want to talk about? What do we want to talk about? What do you guys want to talk about?
Eh, boy. Pain is the only thing I can say to describe that. Is it Jover? No. He's the best damned racer in the world. He comes back from this. But oh boy, was that silly. Arby, you fucked up. You fucked over Max. Max, you probably didn't react the best you could have. But it's done. It's dusted. Let's get into the Spanish Grand Prix review. Again, I don't really talk about the practices, and it's going to stay that way, but Lance Stroll finished qualifying and then pulls out of the race. If he would have pulled out of the race sooner, we could have had Drugovich race for Aston Martin, but because he didn't pull out of the race, the car just didn't start. And, maybe Lance decided to qualify the car and then pull out, just so if Drugovich outperformed him, it wouldn't make him look as bad. And then Lawrence Stroll would have to sabotage Fernando Alonso even more. He just sabotaged both cars. I think that's what would have happened. That is my firm belief, or my conspiracy, that if Drugovich would have took over for Stroll, somehow Lawrence would have just terrorized both cars. So yeah. Qualifying. Let's get to quali. Yeah, let's get to quali in here. Yeah, so this was a race. Canada is next on the map, our home and native land. But yeah, this one, race-wise, was rough. But we're not talking about the race right now. Right now, we're going to talk about quali. So for quali, out in Q1 was Yuki Tsunoda, Franco Colapinto, Carlos Sainz, Esteban, and Nico Hülkenberg. In Q2, it was Behrman, Stroll, Lawson, Bortoleto, and Alex Albon. And in Q3, Alonso, Hadjar, Gasly, Leclerc, Antonelli, Hamilton, Russell, Verstappen, Norris, and Oscar Piastri. And with that, we will look into the qualifying head-to-head, starting in the order we normally do. Piastri will out-qualify Lando Norris, bringing their series 5-4. One thing I have noticed about these McLaren boys, is whoever qualifies ahead, finishes ahead. I've been really starting to notice that with these guys. Also, I predicted Hamilton for pole, and he did not get it. Sad boy hours. Next up, Verstappen will go 7-0 against Yuki Tsunoda. George Russell brings his series with Antonelli 8-1. Hamilton finally gets a qualifying ahead of Leclerc, bringing theirs 7-2. Yeah, it's been rough for Hamilton since joining Ferrari. Pierre Gasly will go 3-0 against Colapinto. Isaac Hadjar will bring his series with Lawson 6-1. Albon will make it 5-4 with Sainz. Bortoleto will outqualify Hülkenberg, bringing their series 5-4. I think I skipped Alonso. Alonso going a perfect 9-0 against Lance Stroll, and the only person to qualify 9-0 and be perfect against their teammate. Now I know what you're thinking. Moon, you said that Gasly, and Verstappen are perfect against their teammates. Yes, they are. However, they haven't raced with those teammates since the beginning of the season. So if we're going off of based of who they were racing with the beginning of the season, Alonso is the only person with the perfect qualifying record against his teammate. Oliver Bearman outqualifies Esteban Ocon, bringing their series 6-3. And I believe that is everybody done, dusted, and covered. Now on to the race. Yeah, the race was drama-filled. Good wheel-to-wheel. Good action. I enjoyed everything. The 10-second penalty hurt. But at the end of the day, you know what? It's done. It's dusted. You can tell Max was pissed with his strategy. They put him on hards, and just at the end of the day, it wasn't going to go well for anybody, and issue like this was probably bound to happen. The return of Mad Max, yada, yada, yada. As a Verstappen fan, yeah, this kind of sucks, but I don't think he's completely done and dusted from this championship as of yet. But he needs to have a real good finish in Canada. Also, Liam Lawson was committing terrorism against everybody as he has a collision with, or makes contact, I guess I wouldn't say really collision, but makes contact with Albon, which damages his front wing, making him have to go get a third wing because he received damage earlier in the race. They either didn't or just chose not to replace the wing. Albon got a 10-second penalty, and then he just DNF'd. So bad weekend for Albon. Very bad weekend for Albon, actually. And then, at the tail end of the race, Kimi Antonelli, car engine explodes for the third time. Oh my god. And Mercedes is supposed to be the head of the pack next season in the 2024 regulations when their engines keep on farting like this? I don't think so. No, I don't see Mercedes being ahead at top of the class, especially with the engines like this. And then that comes to the restart. Max almost bins it on trying to warm up those hard tires. Luckily, he didn't, and he saves his car, but then him and Charles touch a little bit. Charles gets through. Him and Russell battle for about 2-3 laps. Then they make contact with each other when Max gets back to the position, which results in his 10-second time penalty and results with him finishing P10. Oh boy. Yeah, as a Max Verstappen fan, I can't really defend this one. I don't know, man. It was rough. Alright. So Lance Stroll did not start, so he was automatically P20. Alex Albon, P19 with a DNF. Kimi Antonelli with a P18 with a DNF. Bearman, P17. Ocon, P16. Franco Colapinto, P15. Carlos Sainz, P14, and the first time he hasn't finished in the points in his home Grand Prix. Just an interesting fact there. Yuki Tsunoda, P14. Good day for the Salvers as Gabriel Bortoleto, P5, or P12. Liam Lawson, P11. Max, P10. Fernando Alonso finally scores his first points of the season as he finishes P9 for Aston Martin. Since Lance Stroll wasn't on the grid, they didn't blow up his car or something. Pierre Gasly, P8. Hadjar continuing his run of, I don't know if I can say perfection, but he is by far the best rookie on the grid right now with a P7. Lewis Hamilton, P6. Now for the P5, and who I predicted for the top 5. Let's get this over with because I already know I'm fucking wrong. So Max Verstappen in Monaco. I just want to add this because I didn't cover Monaco fully. He joins Alex Albon as the 3-time winner of Driver of the Day. Anyway, so P5. I said it would be Carlos Sainz. I thought Carlos Sainz and Fernando would get points in their home race. I was right about one, wrong about the other. In P5, actually, Nico fucking Hulkenberg, the GOAT, Yeah, no, Nico, I don't know where he found that pace, but good on Nico Hulkenberg, man. P4 was George Russell, finally returning back to the top 5 after a long absence. I said it was Oscar Piastri. P3, I said Charles Leclerc. P3, Charles Leclerc. You know, we ain't getting much right today. We're taking this one. We take this one home to the bank, boys and girls. P2, I said Verstappen. It was Norris. And P1, I said Norris. It was Piastri, who continues to make Lando look goofy. So now with that, we will bring you to the race head-to-heads. With the race head-to-heads, starting in the order of how they finished, Piastri will outrace Lando Norris 5-4. Charles Leclerc will outrace Lewis Hamilton, bringing their series to 7-1. George Russell outraces Kimi Antonelli, being the only perfect to have a perfect record against his teammate at 9-0. Isaac Hadjar outraces Liam Slowson 7-0. Pierre Gasly outraces Franco Colapinto, bringing their series 2-1. Now, the reason why Colapinto has won is because he did outrace Pierre Gasly in Monaco. However, Pierre Gasly was DNF'd. So, interesting fact about doing in Colapinto, the only time Pierre Gasly has been outraced this season is if he DNFs. That's insane. 3 races he's DNF'd. Were the only 3 races he was outraced. That is insanity. And I skipped a whole bunch of people when I just realized that. I skipped Nico Hulkenberg. My apologies. The GOAT. Nico Hulkenberg brings his series with Bortoleto 6-3. Isaac Hadjar will go against Liam Lawson 7-0. Pierre Gasly 2-1. Colapinto. Aston Martin's score will not change since what's his face didn't start. Yeah, since Lance Stroll did not start, I will not be changing their series. So 3-5 for Alonso. Max Verstappen and Tsunoda 7-0. Carlos Sainz brings his series with Alex Albon to a 7-2. It's crazy that he cannot outrace him this season. I think I owe an apology to Alex Albon for the fraud allegations. Esty Bestie outraces Oliver Behrman, and that brings their series to 6-3. So yeah, that was my thoughts on the Grand Prix. Quickly, for my driver of the day. For the second time and the first time since Australia, Nico Hulkenberg is my driver of the day. Sorry, Salesforce, for saying Max was, but I think that was more so just a shit post at that point. Anyway, I've been your host, Moon. Thank you, and I will see you in the next one.